Stop, what are you doing?
What do you mean? I thought we were cutting this in half.
Why in the world would we cut that keyboard in half?
Oh, I saw the title in a Word document on your computer, and it said something about us cutting this in half for the next video.
Cut it in half? That must have been a rough draft. We're gonna cut a half plate. A half plate.
A half plate?
Yeah, QWERTY Keys didn't offer a half plate option, so I'm making my own.
Oh, okay, I guess that makes sense. So, no chainsaw?
No chainsaw. Give me that and put that away.
Alright, so the QK65 is a gasket-mounted keyboard. The solder PCB from QWERTY Keys does have some flex cuts in it, but they don't offer a half-plate option, so I thought we'd make our own. Now, if you're unfamiliar with what a half plate is, it's essentially removing the plate in the center alphas of the keyboard. And what this is doing is it's providing the keyboard with more flex. As you can imagine, instead of typing down and hitting the plate, you're now just typing all the way down into the PCB, and therefore you're able to get the flex of the PCB without the rigid plate stopping you. So for this project, we're going to be using the solder PCB, and I got the palm plate too, as I think that's probably going to be the easiest material to cut through myself. So the half plate option ideally is going to make a more bouncy and flexible typing experience. All right then, let's get into it. Let's cut this PCB. Nope, not a PCB. Let's cut this palm plate.
All right, your standard box cutter. Let's see if this will go through, and nope, not working. Not working in the slightest. Okay, back to the drawing board. Garden clippers. Okay, now we're talking just like butter. Now that we've removed the area we wanted to, let's pull out the power tools and sand this down and smooth out those edges.
All right, so that wasn't too bad. It actually cut a bit easier than I thought it was going to. So now that we have that all cleaned up and sanded down, it's time to solder the switches into the PCB. Now for this build, I'm going with some Gateron Milky Yellow Pros. I went with kind of a more budget tier switch, just in case something goes wrong here or this half plate doesn't work out at all. I didn't want to put a more expensive switch into this.
If you're unfamiliar with what a hot swap versus a solder PCB is, let's quickly cover that. A hot swap PCB has sockets already soldered down that the switch will pop into, and thus allow the switch pins to make a connection with the PCB. While on the solder PCB, you'll notice the switch pins poke right through the bottom, and it's up to you to solder those pins to the PCB, thus creating the connection between switch and PCB. Okay, solder time, and yeah, you've seen this I'm sure, so we'll go ahead and jump. Ah, those beautiful little solder mounds. All right, for the gaskets, the QK65 offers socks or sleeves. As you can see, the socks offer more flex as there's less gasket actually touching the keyboard. So we're going with the socks here as we are going for the ultimate flex on this build. Now let's assemble the board. The PCB and half plate get laid down into the top case. We'll use the case foam, but I'm going to leave the silicone out as I don't want that potentially getting in the way of any downward flex while typing. Next, we'll add the bottom case and bottom weight, and those both screw in, but you've used screws before, you get it. You don't need to watch someone doing that. And there we have it. You can see the black of the PE sheet on the PCB coming through here, showing that half plate cutout. And finally, keycaps, and we're done.
All right, now that we're good to go, we'll do a flex test and kind of a typing experience sound test as well. Did this add flex? Is the typing experience a bit bouncier? And also, did it change the sound character or the sound profile of this keyboard? If you're new to the channel, definitely check out my modesonnet giveaway video that I posted a few days ago. I have a ridiculous tattoo bet going with Mode that they agreed to. I need to get 10,000 subscribers by August, and I get early access to the modesonnet. So I would appreciate all the help I can get from the community. We've seen some crazy growth over the past week or so since this bet started, and we got to keep the momentum going here. So I would really appreciate it if you could subscribe to the channel and help me out.
Not much flex here on the full palm plate. Now, most of the flex or bounce that you're seeing is because I'm an idiot and forgot to remove my desk mat before doing this. Versus the flex on the half plate is now on the desk, and you can see there's significant flex that's been added to this keyboard.
All right, there you have it. So I think that cutting the half plate here definitely added some flex to the QK65. I don't think it added as much as I was envisioning or kind of hoping. And there's a few different reasons that I think are attributing to that still stiffer experience. One is the PCB, I think is somewhat of a stiff PCB, and although there are flex cuts in it, they're not really in position for a half plate, so they're not running along the top and the bottom of the alpha section to provide maximum flex in that area. There's also not a daughter board for the USB-C, so when that USB-C is slotted into that aluminum case, that is a rigid point on the PCB that can't really be avoided, so you are losing some flex there as well. Now, having said that, I do definitely enjoy typing on this half plate. I like it, I think, more than the full palm plate, to be honest with you. It definitely added some flex. There's a little bit of bounciness there in the typing experience, and the keyboard just feels more responsive, or I don't know, lighter feeling. I almost feel like I can type faster with this keyboard now, but that could just be a placebo. So there you have it. If you're in the mood for a little do-it-yourself project and you want to get a half plate into your QK65, it definitely will add some flex and some bounce to the typing experience. So overall, fun project. It worked out. I like it. Until next time, happy typing.